Sparrow. How much more does he love you? 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 According to his power. So, hello everyone. Hi. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're joining me from. Thank you so much for joining me today. I just want to know if you can hear me. Please let me know in the chat that you can hear me. I think I've been able to conquer technical issues and you can see me. I know you can see me. So please let me know if you can hear me and let me know where you're joining me from. Just say hi to me. Yeah, you can hear me. Just say hello. Let me okay, let me turn down my music. I always have one of my boys taught me the power of white noise at the background. So I always try to have white noise, and in the last couple of days my white noise is being worship music or just messages playing on the background while I go about doing my work, and I've found it very helpful, very good for, should I say, my mental health. I don't want to say mental health because I don't want to undermine the power of healthy mental health. But to be honest, it's been very helpful to help me stay focused and just have good atmosphere or aura around me. But thank you for joining me for your lunchtime here. Cheers to coffee or tea or whatever you're having where you are. Let's be careful not to pour the hot coffee or tea on ourselves, right? Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me again. So let's dive right into it. We've got just about 20 to 25 minutes for this. And so what we're talking about today is the Father's love. The Father's love. And we're talking about it from the perspective of the fact that a lot of us, we grew up, or a lot of men grow up without really enjoying, the Father's love. And so it becomes for them something weird, something they're trying to navigate, that experiencing love themselves and then being able to show their sons love. So let's start by acknowledging something. There is a very specific kind of loneliness that comes with from having a father who is physically present but emotionally absent, which we talked about last week. When we say he's in the house, he's there with us and everything, but I just can't feel him. That's one aspect. And I love that we're going to the second aspect just right away this week, which is the aspect of how, since I didn't get this from my father, how do I put it down? How do I show my son love? I didn't experience it. I never had my father say, I love you. I never had those moments with my father. And now I'm expected to show this or have those moments with my son, right? So, like we did last week, where we named the challenge, we named the issue. This week again, let's be honest. If you grow up never hearing your father say, I love you, this is for you. If you grew up never feeling you were loved, and now you're struggling to say, how do I love? How do I show this love to my son? This is also for you. And if you know me very well, oh, did I introduce myself at the beginning? Hey guys, my name is Kiki. I'm the founder of Joshuzami or Bilobukola Joluwo Consulting, where everything I talk about is about around the male child, around men, around fatherhood, because I believe in raising wholesome and exceptional boys. Or wholesome and exceptional men. And I also believe strongly in the contribution of fathers in raising this boy. So with I believe strongly in a good connection between fathers and sons. And today we're talking about the pain that comes with not knowing how to show your son love because you weren't shown love or you didn't know how to. And trust me, a lot of men are going through this now. Not even just how to show their sons love, but how to even show their spouses love, how to connect with their spouses because they didn't have that, they didn't see that growing up. So um you grew up feeling, does dad love me? The way dad says he loves is by providing, paying the rent, paying the mortgage. And now I'm in that position. My son expects more. How can I give more? What should I do? How do I do it when I don't even have it, when I don't even know how to do it? So we're talking about what we inherited from our parents. But there's something that I read, I think just this morning or yesterday, saying my past is my past, and I don't have to stay in my past so that it affects my today, my present, or my future. So a lot of people say let the past stay in the past, but I don't exactly agree with that because um my past is a part of me. But what I agree with, what I say is that past, I don't have to keep reliving the past. I am allowed to learn from the past. So when I think I've also had this conversation with my husband where he goes, "Oh, but this is how it worked when I was growing up," and I'm like, "I need you to tell yourself the truth. Would you have rather it worked a different way? Would you have rather it worked differently?" So if you're saying this is what happened in my past, what am I learning from it? What would I have preferred to happen in that past, and how can I do better? Now, another thing I need to put out there is we all do as much as we know to do per time. So no parent will go out in their right senses to make their child feel unloved, to make their child feel like they're burdened. No parents will go out in their right senses to create bad memories for their child. What we're doing is all we know how to, all that we can to raise good children and create good memories for our children. But in that process, things can go wrong, things can go south, things can go the other way because we don't exactly understand how to do it better. And so that's what we're talking about today. How do we do it better? What's love without words actually do to us? As far as I'm concerned, love without words is harmful, just as love without actions can be harmful. I need to be honest with you about something, even though it's uncomfortable. When we grow up, or our boys grow up without hearing that they are loved, when it seems like they've grown up without affection, or they're growing up with conditional love, this shapes everything in their lives. It shapes who they are. First, it shapes how they see themselves. Are they pluses? Are they gifts? Are they awesome? It shapes a lot of things about how they see themselves. And then it shapes how they love. Now, a lot of time when we talk about love, we're talking about loving the third party, loving someone else, right? But it also shapes how they love themselves. So The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. So if I struggle to love myself, then loving my neighbor becomes a problem. So it shapes how they love, starting with loving themselves and then loving others. Their love can either become toxic, their love can become fierce, genuinely, but creates a toxic atmosphere for the people around them. Now, it also shapes what they believe about being a man, what they believe about masculinity. So, if what they saw about manhood, about masculinity, was a man who did not cry, a man who did not feel the need to be hugged, a man who did not feel the need to say, I love you, or hear the word, I love you, then the boys begin to grow to believe that's what masculinity is about. But you and I know that that is not true. One Bible passage I love a lot is Jesus wept. Jesus is a man, or Jesus was a man when he was in the human body, right? I don't want to go into whether Jesus is a man or a woman, but when he was in the human body, he came as a man. And guess what? That man wept. That man needed help. That man needed to hear this part I love so much, where the Bible says, and Jesus asked his disciples, who does the world, or who do people around you say I am? Now, in my own context, this is not blaspheming, but could it have been that Jesus was asking for validation at that point in time? Hey guys, oh, I call myself Fope. Who do your friends say I am? What do your friends even say about me, your mom? What am I actually asking for? Could it be validation that I'm looking for or asking for at that point in time? And then Jesus is a man. So he asked his children, tell me what your friends think about me. Tell me what people are saying about me. Tell me what they are calling me out there. Then Jesus has also asked for help, right? He asked his disciples, his children, his friends for help, whatever context, whatever box you want, or category you want to put his disciples at that time. He asked them for help when he was tired, when he was overwhelmed. And I think one thing I've learned from Jesus's life on earth when it comes to being human and living our daily lives is the fact that Jesus was open and honest. He owned his emotions when he was on earth. He knew what he needed per time, and he was wise, he was vulnerable enough to ask for what he needed. That means being vulnerable is even wisdom. A lot of us say it's maturity, but it's also wisdom, right? I remember one time I was going through a tough time, and I was talking to one of my coaches or mentor, and I was telling her how I was feeling at that time. And she said, pick your phone, call your friends, and tell them this is how you're feeling and how you want them to be there for you. And she also went ahead to say that for her, there was even a time she called her friends and told them, on Tuesday, I need you to come to my house with food. I need to eat with you and I need to chat with you. You on Thursday, come to my house with flowers. You on Saturday, come to my, and she taxed her friends like that because she needed them. And that was what Jesus did. Come dine with me. Come pray with me. Come tell me this. Come do that. Which is very, very important in our day and time. So for men, it's okay to do that. Now, let's go to why dad didn't probably teach us, or why we didn't experience this from our dad. Like we said last week, he probably was never taught to do that. He probably was never taught to do that. He didn't get it himself. So it's strange for him, right? And then he's kind of confused. He's confusing love and provision. Okay, I'm providing, I'm paying for the bill, I'm paying the bills. What else do you want? How else do you want me to show you I love you? And then he's afraid. I read something not too long ago where somebody was saying that so and so person in their life has never told them how they feel about them because they believe that if I tell you how I feel, if I tell you all of these sweet things, it gets into your head and you begin to misbehave. Have you ever heard a parent say that? I have. Oh, when I'm too soft with them, when I'm too friendly with them, when I'm this, it gets into their head and they begin to misbehave. Does that really happen? Yes, it does. And it happens when we're not able to set proper boundaries and we're not able to not yet, thank you, sorry. I'm being taken care of. Identify, the real things that we're not able to set proper boundaries and identify what we want, what shouldn't be. Because I always say that if I say I'm not my child's friend because I don't want my child to be rude to people, I mean to be rude to me, am I saying it's okay for my child to be rude to his friend? Right? But let's not go into whether we're friends or not. So he is afraid. And then accountability. Nobody holds our fathers accountable. Nobody held them accountable. I remember when I was young and there was something my dad did, and I said, Dad, I don't like that. And I don't think I want you to do that to me again. And I think this needs to change. And my father categorically, my dad of blessed memories, said to me, I'm sorry. At my age, I don't think I can change anymore. You are the one that needs to change to either learn to live with this I'm doing. I'm not going to change and learn it. But one thing I said to him then, I think I was about 16, 17 or so, a teenage girl. I said, I am not going to give you the opportunity to do this to me anymore. So I removed myself from that situation. And when he saw that I removed myself from the situation of giving or the position, I set the boundaries and I respected the boundaries. Guess it changed. Yes, it changed. My father had a favorite, right? When we were growing up, and we know his favorite. So I probably wasn't his favorite, but I am the one that looks like my father the most. So if you say I'm beautiful, that means my father was handsome. Yeah. But I'm the one that looks like my father the most. And I know my dad loved me. My dad named me after himself. My English name, my dad was John, and he named me after himself, right? But he said he couldn't change. I set the boundaries, and guess what? It changed. It changed. And because he was afraid of losing his daughter, whatever losing the daughter might be at that time. So again, nobody holds them accountable. Anything they do seems to be law and Lord. And so it becomes unknowingly a toxic thing for everybody. So now I didn't go through that with my father. I am here. How do I break the cycle as a dad, as a parent, such that I didn't hear, my father didn't teach me, I didn't hear all of those things from my parents, but I need to do it for my child because, to be honest, this day and age, our children need it. By the way, one of the ways to do it is to be present, which we talked about last week. Be present, put yourself in an environment where you see other fathers do this thing. And that's one of the things I'm so passionate about. And that's one of the reasons why I started the father and son dinner, dad and I dinner. And by God's grace, I've been doing this for 10 years now. So we're celebrating actually the 10th anniversary of dad and I dinner, right? And what Dad and I dinner gives opportunity for, or it opens, gives room to fathers for, is to be able to dine with their children, sit on the table and eat with their children, to be able to dress up, go out with the child. I remember the first time I did this, where the fathers and the sons walked into the room with their suits, black tie suits. And it seemed like those children were wearing black tie, wearing suits for the first time. And you could see the pride. And then the fact that we do this in a 4 to 5 star hotel where they come in and they're treated as executive, it creates a different light for our children. It puts our children in a different pedestal, right? So being there, doing these things with your child, coming into that environment. And I believe the team, if you're here right now, I need one of you to please help me drop the link to the Dad and I dinner on the chat so that people can, go and see, just view pictures from past events, how we have started and how we've grown, how most of these children, when we started, they were 13, 14, they're now in their 20s, and they still look forward to this dinner with their fathers. What started so many years ago, you could safely say what started on my kitchen dining, right, is now grown to this. So breaking the cycle, being there, being present, intentionally present with them, right, is very, very key. And here is the truth I want you to say, that the cycle is not unbreakable. So when you say, oh, but that's how my parents did it, that no, it doesn't have to. Whatever it is that based benefit of hindsight, reflecting on the past. Whatever it is I need to change from the past, I change it. And whatever it is I need to take to the future. One good thing I loved about my parents, particularly my father, is the fact that, or two, that I always think about that my dad did when I was growing up was, one, my father will not would always wake up at night, as far as I remember, to check us. So if you go to bed without changing into your PJs, my dad will wake you up to change. When he comes into the room and he sees that, oh, your cover wrapper is off you, he puts it over you again, covers you up. I love that about my dad. Till date, no matter how hot it is, it's been very hot in the UK. But no matter how hot it is, I must have my wrapper, my cover cloth, my duvet, or my quilt over my body. And then my husband will be like, in this hot weather, that was thanks to my father. Another thing my dad did was to pray for us. When he comes into the room, he lays his hands on our heads and prays for us every night, as far as I remember. Maybe not every night, 365 days a week, but most nights my dad will do that because he wakes up at night to pray and study his Bible. So he's there in the living room. But before he goes to do that, he comes to that. Another thing my father used to do that I loved so much was, my dad will not go to church without his children. Now, my mom hates going to church late. But for my dad, even if it means he will go to church late, he will not go without his children. He will be angry and later. He was a minister that we need to preach, but he will not go to church without his children. 7 a.m., 8 a.m., my mom is out. She has driven herself to church and left us at home, and we're still doing all those things that we do. My dad will be there. And then he will be in this car, horn, pump, pump. He will not go to church without his children. And so, whether we liked it or not, going to church became a habit. Even weekend, during the week, that he goes to church from the office, he will still make sure to sound it. Meet me in church on Wednesday, meet me in church on Friday, and all of that. So there are good things we can pick from, what our parents did, but the things that we want to do better, which is part of making sure our children know how much we love them. And it's not too late to begin to do that. It's not too late to change the cycle. Now, what does it look like in practice? What does all of this changing the cycle looks like in practice, right? One, say the word to your child. I remember when my children were young, particularly when they started using the phone and, we'll go on calls, call each other and everything. I gradually started this habit of not hanging up until I say, love you, I love you. So when my husband would hear me talking to the boys and all right, see you later, love you. All right, don't belong, love you. Oh, you did that. Why would you do that? I don't like that. Now you're running late. I'm waiting for you in the sitting room. We said agreed that you ain't coming by 9 p.m. It's now 9:15. All right, see you in a bit. Love you. Guess what? It gradually became an unwritten code in the house, such that even when the boys call themselves, when they talk to themselves and they're hanging up, you hear, love, love you, love. They say it to themselves, right? And even I've heard my friends, my sons say to their friends as well. And then there was a day I called, he was talking to a friend, a female friend. And then when he hung up, he said, I love you. And I went, who was that? I thought that was, are you guys in a relationship? No, mom, she's my friend. So why did you say I love you? He said, of course, because I love my friend. I was like, and then and the boy said, my youngest son, he said, but mom, that's what we do. We say, we let people know we love them, don't we? And I said, okay, sorry. I started it, right? And they don't only do it in the house, they also make their friends know they love them and see how much they love them, right? So it's very important. Say the word, say it, and let them hear it. Also, learn your children's language. Learn your son's love language. Is it hug? Is it a pat on the shoulder? Is it a tap on the back? Is it the rub on the head? I remember when my older son was a teenager, his was a rub on his head. And that's it. We just take your hand, put on his head. You take your hand and do this, shake your hand on his head, and then go. That was his. For the other child, it was words of affirmation. For another child, it's physical touch. For another child, it could be acts of service. For another child, it could be words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch. What's again? Gifts, right? It could be gift giving, and then quality time. And these things change over time. Let me read. I just saw a comment there that somebody said, let me see if I can see the comment. It said, the female friend may take it serious though. Well, thankfully they didn't. I get what you mean, but thankfully they didn't. And they I think they know that they're friends. And yeah, I get what you mean, but yeah. And maybe that was why I called it out and everything, but they still do it till today. And so learn your child's language. These languages are not difficult. When we call 5 love languages, we sometimes we tend to make these things overcomplicated. But what are they? Words of affirmation. Oh, well done, son. I love you, son. Oh, welcome. You came back early. Well done. They did something well. You must be proud of yourself. Affirm that and let them see and hear that you see them. Secondly, it could be second one is acts of service. Do they love you to do things for them and with them? How do you do that? How do you draw the boundaries so that you don't do everything for them? But you know what I mean, acts of service. The other one could be is physical touch, touching them, pat on the back. If that's what they love, know the language. Gifts giving them gifts. Some will not ask. In fact, some will not let you know, they will not, but when you give them the gift, how they respond when you do will give you a clue to that, okay, this is what they love. And then what's it called? Quality time. They want to watch the TV with you. You're cooking and they come and sit with you. They're doing stuff and they're asking you to do with them. Quality time. Learn what their love language is. It's learning that is very, very important. And trust me, like I said, initially they might be, but they love it. Keep at it, and you will see the growth. And then for you as a parent, if there is a gap, acknowledge the gap. If there's been any distance, don't pretend that you don't know this is happening. Don't pretend that you don't see the gap or you don't feel the gap. You don't need long speeches. You just need something simple to change something and tell them if possible. I know that I haven't always been as open as I should. I haven't been there as much as I should, or you want me to, and I want to do better. When I had this conversation with my sons, you know what I said? I said, I want to do better and I need you to help me to do better. This was shouting. I will shout and shout. No matter how you shout, what they will not do, they will not do. What they will not hear, they will not hear. So one day I actually said, see guys, this shouting is not working. This hitting is not working. I don't even like it. When I will hit my child, I will enter room and be crying. Who have I hit? The child that you have hit self is not crying, he's moved on. I'm in my room sulking that I'm beating my child. I wanted to stop it. And I called them and said, see, this is what it is. This is how I feel about it. And I need you to help me. And we came up with strategies that we were reviewing and reviewing. And here we are today. Also show your child that emotions is strengths. That is, emotions are strengths and not weakness. Emotions are strength, emotional intelligence. Being able to own your emotions. When you need to cry, you cry. When you need to vent, you vent. When you need to retreat, you retreat. That is strength. One of the things I taught my children is when you feel a way, acknowledge it to yourself. Once you have acknowledged it to yourself, it's easier for you to acknowledge it to other people. And then from that, you can handle it. You can, if it's a negative, in fact, being angry is not even a negative emotion, like we say, it is how we respond how we react when we are angry that makes all of these emotions negative. Right? And if you feel that you've reacted negatively to an emotion, you can own it, be accountable, right, and change it. And that's one of the things we give fathers and sons the opportunity to do at the Dad and I dinner. We have what we call the moment, where it's just you and your son. Sit down, reflect, review, talk, listen to your son, give you feedback. And then take a minute or two, take some moments to reflect on the feedback the son has given. And then after that, we give the father the opportunity to come and respond to their son. Guess what? A lot of them don't. They say, you know what? I don't have anything to say other than to say, thank you for being open, son, and I'm going to do better. Also, I need you to know as a parent that if your son is watching this, if you are a son rather, and you're watching this, give your parents grace, give your father grace, give them room, and be open to having the conversations. I've heard a lot of sons say, no, it's too late. Nothing is too late. Nothing is too late, particularly if that thing is going to make you a better person. If that thing is going to give you peace as a person, nothing is too late. So give yourself grace and give your parents grace. I think for me, telling my dad, I grew up in the days where you don't even tell your parents this kind of things. Telling him was giving him grace, and I'm so grateful for my father. Oh God, my father was a soldier, not soldier, but my father was, at some point in his life, he was a professional boxer. So you could imagine my father's fist if he lands on you. And then my father was an engineer. He was a mechanical engineer working in NNPC then. So imagine a professional boxer, mechanical engineer, that everything he does is his hands. So his hands were quite thick and heavy. The fear of me telling him that, because he used to hit us. But I still told him. And guess what? Oh God, I miss my dad. And I don't know if my brothers have this testimony about their relationship with my dad, but I do, because we didn't start off well. I'm a first daughter. So imagine being a first daughter, not a first child, I'm a second and first daughter. Imagine being a first daughter and the responsibilities and the expectations that are put on you, right? All of those things. And then in my adopted family, I was the first child as well. First child, first daughter. So I had a lot of responsibilities on my shoulders. But I was still able to tell my dad that. And guess what? Now I'm a bit emotional saying it. I say to people that my mom used to call me Bukola or Lubukola. My dad used to call me Buki. My brother used to call me Kiki. And so in my house, I'm used to people calling me very different names, right? But guess what? At some point, my dad stopped calling me Kiki, Bukola, or anything. And guess what he used to call me? My daughter. So when I walk through the door, when my dad goes, is my daughter. And then maybe through the day, he's looking, where is Bukola? Where is Buki? Or where is Kiki? And then when I come in, he goes, oh, there goes my daughter. Till today, that thing swells my head. And even if I want to misbehave and I remember my daughter, I simmer because I am somebody's daughter. Your son should feel that way. Our sons should feel that way. I didn't have all of those moments of mushy with my dad as a young girl, but gradually we grew and we became better. And that's why I'm saying it's never too late. So I need us to know that there is still room for us to change because it's never too late. Tell yourself you love you and be open to telling your child you love them. And for you, a father watching this, be open, right? I mean, for you, a son watching this, I said earlier on, give grace and begin to do it for your parents. Begin to do it for them. Because remember, they didn't have this, so you can help them have it. When you're getting off the call, I love you, Dad. When you come in, hug them. I remember the first time I hugged my father-in-law. Till today, I'm so grateful to God for that hug because that was the last opportunity I had to hug him, the first and the last. But it stayed with me. It stayed with me. It is still with me. I hold on to that memory that I hugged my father-in-law. So give, even if they don't step forward, you step forward. Give the hug. Tell them you love them and break the cycle. And I pray God will help us. So if this resonates with you, let me know the parts that you're picking. Let me know what resonates with you from all of this that we've talked about. And feel free to like and share this video with your friends, your families, and anyone. I think the video is also downloadable. So whatever clip you want to, I give you the permission to share with people because we need our world to heal. We need a better place for our fathers. We need a better place for our sons. We need a better place for the family our sons will be raising in future. And so I want to say a big thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for spending your lunch time with me, even though my coffee is cold. We really don't need hot coffee like that right now in this weather. But thank you so much. I have enjoyed this session with you, and I hope something is resonated with you as it has with me as well. I pray the Lord God will help us, and we together we will continue to raise wholesome and exceptional men. God bless you, everyone. Have a very lovely rest of your day and a great weekend. I'll see you same time, same place next week.